What is up? We are back again for another Cars series in Blender. You're probably thinking, I've already seen your cars, sir. Well, we're going to make something different today. And we are going to make a different car that's going to end up in the game on Steam right now called Fished A Town to Remember. And it's a game you could actually buy, and the plan is that we will build a car today, and later on it's going to end up in Fished A Town to Remember. So you could actually go through the process of building the car with me, and if you buy the game, you can actually drive the car in the game. And you don't have to, it's just if you want to. Before we get started, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy listening to me, which I don't know if you do, but if you do, feel free to subscribe, feel free to like the videos, or I can continue making more videos for us guys. Alright, first things first, we are going to make a cylinder. We're going to hit Shift A, and we're just going to make a cylinder, and this is just, I think we have to have something clicked on here to do all the sizing correctly. So we're just going to keep that highlighted. We're going to go up here. I'm going to switch this to local. And again, this has a lot to do with later. The reason I mention this is I don't want you to get to the point where you're ready to import and you don't have everything set up correctly, because it's going to cause issues and you're going to have to highlight everything and resize everything. If we do it right now, it's done and we don't have to worry about it anymore. So what we're going to do here is I just went up to, let's just click off that. That's the wrong one. Just go up to here on Show Overlays. We're going to click this, go down to Scale. 0.01 is our scale. And then we are going to find this little triangular guy, the Scene Properties. And we're going to go to Units. And we're going to go Units Scale and 0.01. Okay, and we are scaled now. And that is perfect. I'm going to keep the location up over here, which is this one. There's a reason for that. Okay, like the last video, we're going to start off by the basics. We need something that's going to connect to the ground. Maybe this isn't the style you choose to build cars, and I totally understand if that's the situation. You just need to understand that this is the way that I choose to do it. I choose to do it from the ground up. And you're welcome to agree or disagree with that. That's perfectly fine. Alright, so what I did there is I hit R90 and then Z to get it on that. So now, as you see on the side, it says that our Z-axis is at 90. Don't know why our Y is at -3. Let's just hit that back to 0. There we go. We want to make sure it's good and straight. You know what? Something's gone wrong with this. Let's just delete this, because it had been turned twice and it shouldn't have been, I don't think. R90 Y, and that should be right. There we go. So start off by thinning this a little bit. So I just went to the scaler over here, and we're just gonna, now I don't scale things in edit mode as if I can avoid it, because it'll actually move the axis of where the center of this is. And you can move it back, but I just don't like to mess with it. I'd rather just not deal with it. So I try to scale in this mode. And by edit mode, I mean by hitting tab, it puts you into an edit mode. So I'll hit tab to go back, just to show you guys. I know a lot of people are at different levels in Blender, and one thing you need to know is Blender's a hard thing to learn. So you're going to feel very intimidated at first, like you're not going to be able to do this, and this is the feeling every single person has when they try Blender, because it is overwhelming to learn something completely new. Especially if you're older, say you're over 30, I'm over 30. I struggle with these things, and I feel like it's a new man's game and I'm not going to be able to learn these things, but you are. You're just going to have to take the time and try it. Alright, so what we're going to do next So we have a basic shape of a tire. So we're going to hit Shift D, pull that out, and then we're going to hit S and let it scale down. And then we're going to go over here, and we're going to scale out until we're just outside of this. Alright, so now we're going to hit Shift D. That's just going to make another one exactly the same size. Now, if you're happy with that as your rim size, I'm going to delete that. If you're happy with this as your rim size, then you're going to go ahead and Shift D like I showed you. But if you're not, let's just scale this down. You can pause the video if you need to work on this, if you want a certain look, if you want the tire to be bigger and the rim to be smaller. Just pause the video. And we just want this to just peek out. Should just be peeking out on either side, so it's not much over. It's just going to have just a lip. I think that's perfect, so I'm going to Shift D to copy that. I'm going to Shift left click on the outer tire, and we're going to bool that. And now you're going to go, well, there's something still there, but that's our other piece, right? That's the second one we copied. If we move this, you will see there's a hole there. Alright, so now we have a tire and we have a separate rim. And there's a reason we're doing this. When it comes to coloring, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So you may think, well, Mr. Lord Fish, you seem to do things a little backwards. Well, I'm going to make you puke your pants with laughter by telling you I don't. I see the future, and I'm saving you problems in the future. Okay, so keep that in mind. So, next step, we are going to click on the middle one. Make sure you're on the middle one. Hit Tab, so we are in edit mode on purpose now. We're going to hit this face up here, and this is going to click on our faces. Click off everything, click on one face. Shift, left click the other face. So now we have both. We're going to hit I, and we're just going to give the rim a little tiny bit of a lip, like a rim would have, right? So now we're going to go ahead and hit I again, and we're going to give this a hubcap about there. You're going to have to use your judgment. You may have to do this over a few times, but like I said, if you got me liked and you got me subscribed, no problem. Just pull up the video again or pause the video or whatever you need to do. It's not a big deal. And again, learning takes a few tries. Sometimes it's going to take you 4 or 5 tries to get something. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. Everybody learns a little bit different. I find the people who take the longest to learn usually are able to take things to a higher level after. Like, once they do get it, they get it to a new level. 3, 4. So what I'm doing here, I'm highlighting 4. Oh, that's 5. 4. That's 5. 4. Oh my god, did I do this right here? Let's count these. Yes, okay, so we've now got 4. We're missing 4. We've got 4. We're missing 4. We've got 4. We're going to miss 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to highlight 4. And if we've done this right, there's now 4 in between each one. So now we're going to hit delete. And when this comes up, we're going to wheel down to faces. And okay, we've deleted the faces. So now we're going to line this up as best as we can on the back, for we can see the other faces on the other side. And we're going to do the same thing, guys. And you may be thinking, oh, this is very much like the tire we made last time, Lord Fish. Well, it is. It literally is. But this is the best tire I've made so far. I could show you one last thing. If we hit Control B on here, we can actually bevel this edge. And it could give us a completely different look if you want. but I'm going to right click to cancel that. If you go too far, it's going to get messed up. But I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to go for a simplistic look. Don't want to get too complicated. I'm going to go up here to the move tool because I just want to move this one face. And we're going to bring it in like that. And that's because this is going to be the outside of the tire, not the inside. So we're going to select edges up here. I'm going to do that. Sorry. Click it once with left click, and then we're going to control left click to get that whole edge. Going to shift left click now for we don't lose our other edges, and then control left click. Now we'll hit F to fill the gap where we've highlighted the edges. And you see how that works. Pretty simple, right? And I don't know. Let's do this. So I just left click that, and then I'm going to control left click, and then I'm going to shift left click, and then I'm going to control left click, and then I'm going to F. And now we filled that. So we've got the top and the bottom filled now. So we're going to click this with shift click, and shift click, and F. And you see we've got a nice clean sharp edge. They look like really decent tires now. We're getting there. And you'll notice the back texture over here is all messed up. That's because it's the back of something. When we're making a face, we shouldn't have that issue. And sometimes on import, your faces are going to flip like this and get all messed up, and you're going to bring them in and you're going to color them, and it's going to be just horrendous. And that'll be another video of teaching you how to flip the inverts, I think they're called. Alright, sorry. So we're gonna left click this, and then control left click, and then shift left click because we don't want to lose our edges, and control left click, and F to fill it. Right? So left click to let go of our old edges, control left click to grab all those edges, shift click to not lose our edges, control left click, and we get to fill it. So, as you can see with the tire, it's going to be pretty much the same process the whole way around the tire. So if you've fallen behind, go ahead and pause the video. And if you are ahead of me, you just go ahead and skip ahead while I finish up all this stuff, guys. And I also want to take the time to thank you guys. If you tuned in to watch me, I'm a new YouTuber. I'm just getting used to things. The only reason I'm really doing YouTube is we have made a game, and I went to make a few tips and trick videos and things like that, and I actually had to create a YouTube account. And then my lovely partner suggested that maybe I take the time to show people some of the things that I struggle with learning Blender. Because my partner is the game programmer and I am the game designer. But knowing that, you always support your partner in what they're trying to do. We support each other and try to help each other as much as possible. So she has learned quite a bit of Blender, and I have learned quite a bit of programming. I do quite a bit of just helping, just being an assistant, helping her think things out, helping her think of what issues things might be, doing a lot of troubleshooting. But in a partnership, this is how it needs to be, guys. Here I am giving you guys a lecture in a Blender video on partnerships. In a partnership, if you guys aren't both giving what you should be giving to each other, you should find something better. What happened there? Oh, I've got way too many edges. That's what happened there. There we go. Because you only get one shot at life, guys, so do it right. And be kind to each other. Alright, that's enough of your So that's enough life lectures for now. But the game that we made is called Fishton, A Town to Remember. It's on Steam. I think it's 17, 18 bucks. It's not too expensive. We wanted to make something that everybody could afford and play, and we're really enjoying getting feedback from people who've been playing and changing things to make it better for people who are playing. Alright, so we have our rim. I'd say do a couple double checks to make sure you didn't miss any edges. Can do this to make sure that ring's looking good. Just right click to cancel it. And if you did move it by accident, you can always hit undo, and it's going to undo the last change. So whatever you did last, it's going to do that. We will do a couple more things before we go. So what we are going to do is hit L over the outside tire, and that's going to highlight the whole thing. And then we're going to hit Control B. We're going to drag out a little bit. And depending how small or big you want your treads to be on your tire, you can adjust these. As you can see on the top, the little triangles are going to be holes that are going to be our treads. So I am going to go for this. And I'll show you how we're going to do this next, okay? Now keep in mind this is going to take a little bit of time, but you're making a vehicle. This isn't something you're just going to whiz out in 10 seconds. This is something that's going to take some time. Oh, we've got a small problem here, guys. Maybe you have this small problem as well. So I'm just going to undo, and here's a good example of how you can undo. Because of this line and this line, for some reason it has messed our tire up and it did not work right. So let's see what we can do about that. Hopefully, oh yeah, we can just dissolve the edges. So let's try that and see what happens. It might not go good, keeping in mind. Let's try that again. No. Alright. What are we going to do about you guys? See, the problem with these is that it's causing... Yeah. It's causing an issue with... We're just going to do that. When we try to bevel this edge, if it hits those lines, it doesn't leave a triangle there. Let me just think a second, guys. Okay, let's do it this way. I think this is actually how we did the last tire anyways. Oh my god, that's why. Go up here, guys. I'm so sorry. Change to faces. Imagine... That's embarrassing. This is going to happen too, though. Sometimes you're going to grab the wrong edges and the wrong... And it's going to happen. But maybe we'll do it a smarter way anyways in general. So we're just going to highlight everything. And then we're going to unhighlight with Shift left click the faces we don't want. So let's just leave those faces out of it and see if this fixes our issue. And it does. It does indeed. So there we go. Again, my mistake, and I apologize. And that's going to happen when you're using Blender. Is you're going to make small mistakes, and that's the beauty of Blender, is always remember to save. Save every time you finish one thing. We probably should have finished after the rim and saved it, but we didn't. And that way, if you make a crucial mistake or something goes wrong, you can just go back to that point. Alright, so I'm going to keep that for now. We are on faces up here. You'll see it says face. We're going to highlight this, this. How else you can do it is shift click, control, left click, shift click, Control left click, and we're going to go all the way around the tire to do this. So this is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm just going to do a few more, and then I'm going to show you guys how to replace it. And then I'm going to assume you got through this part, and we will meet up in the next video, for I do not waste too much of your guys' time, because I do appreciate you watching. I don't want to waste your time doing crucial or trivial deeds like this. Delete those faces, and I will show you how to fill them. But make sure that's the look of the tire you want. That's the look I want. I like that one a lot. And we will switch back to edges. Now remember, I'm going to finish all of that, but I'm going to do it in a different video, for you guys don't have to watch me doing it. Or I won't do it in a different video. I'll skip ahead and I'll come back with it done. And I'll assume you did the same. And you can pause my video if you're having troubles, or if you missed something, or I didn't explain something enough. And hopefully you get it. Feel free to comment below if you'd like to see something different made in Blender, or if you're working on something specifically for a game or something personal project and you'd just like to see it made. If I'm able to make it, I will definitely get back to you and let you know. So again, shift left click to grab that next edge, and control left click. We got all these edges, and we're going to hit F. As you see, it gives it a nice clean edge. Sorry, it kind of looked like there was something there, but they're not. So shift click, shift, shift, or control left click, control left click, control left click. And just look at it to the side to make sure. Again, this one looks like it's messed up for some reason. Keep seeing is, I don't know if I'm seeing the gap, but it looks like there is a face right there. What the heck happened there? So that might happen. Just be very, very careful that you're making sure that you aren't highlighting the wrong edges like that. You see how it just went behind? So left click, shift 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 left click. There must be an extra edge attached to it that's making it mess up, so we're just going to use shift left click to make sure we only grab the edges we want there. It still looks messed up to me. I don't know why I'm seeing that. Anyways, well, that's how you're going to fill these edges, and it should be pretty simple. Only highlight the edges you want. We're just going to do these here, and F, and filled. Looking good. Getting there. And then you just got to fill the whole tire, and then eventually we'll have our entire tire. We will meet up again in the next video. I'd like to give a shout out to the testers of Fished in a Town to Remember. A few special testers, Sarah F and Tyler F, and yeah, you guys have literally helped so much. I just want to thank everybody who supported us as new game makers, and remind you all you can get Fished in a Town to Remember on Steam if you feel like giving it a try or just want to find a way to support us. But I really feel like you guys will enjoy the storyline and so on. Thanks again. This is Lord Fish signing out. Take care, guys.